JAH here, broadcasting from the cemetery again. You guys who watch my videos, you guys know what's up. I've adopted this tree behind me. Most places I go, I always pick a spot or a tree. Most of the time, it's a spot and a tree that I go and I don't know. I just meditate and feel comfortable and like to go to that spot when I need to clear my head on some issues and stuff like that. I have some good news. I went on a job interview yesterday. This job is for a property management position, and yeah, I have experience in that also. Uh, I feel like the interview went well. I'm not trying to get my hopes up too high, so I'm asking you guys to, send up your prayers for me, and for that to work out, and I can kill two birds with one stone. I have a place and a job, so let's yay for that, yay! But anyway, this video is not for reading. One of my soul group members, Clary, she had a couple of questions for me, and I decided to do a video on it because she asked, and they were some good questions. I don't know if I covered them before, but I'm gonna cover them now. Uh, Clary is one of my soul group members. I gotta come up with another name because my soul group is basically all my subscribers, the people that resonate with me, who like my readings, and they come back and they check me out. That's what I call my soul group. So the people that really connect with me and they send me emails, and I mean these like the people that I talk to on emails, we correspond with each other like on a semi-regular basis. It's not like too much, but it's enough to let me know that there's people out there that care. Um, so I'm gonna call those my inner soul group members. So Clary, she's one of my inner soul group members, along with a few others. Lexus, um, Juanita. That's her email name, Lexus. But Juanita, Sandra Evans, of course. And the list goes on. But those are my main ones. My sisters, they keep in touch with me, and they sorry, something was on the screen. They keep in touch with me, and they correspond with me, and they let me know that they care, and I really appreciate that. Um, I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. Sandra, did I say that? But all of them. I really care about them, and it's like it's that type of connection. It's like a brother sister type thing. There's nothing on the funny side. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that's the connection I feel from them. And I really appreciate it. So Clary had a couple of questions, and her first question is like she's a card reader too. She just started, and she wanted to know, how did I start reading tarot cards? Let me tell you, I grew up in a Christian household, and nothing wrong with Christians. No, don't think that I have anything against Christians. I used to be a preacher from the time I was 19 until I was 21. So I don't have anything about preachers or anything like, I mean, Christians or anything like that. It's just a couple of things, like I don't like hypocrites. You know what I'm saying? But when you meet, like, there's some Christians, and they really are hooked up spiritually, and when you're around them you could tell. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no second guessing. This person is in line with God, whatever path they choose, but they're in line with God, and you can tell, and you can feel it. It's a feeling. You can see it, you can feel it. You see the power coming off of them, so they're in line. But the other ones, just pray for them. But anyway, how did I get started? So I grew up in a Christian household, And when I was younger, I'll say like in my late teens, early 20s, like around the time that I was, like before and after I was a preacher. So I'll say around like 17, 18. Then I preached from 19 to 21, and then after that, you know, I was really like drawn to the occult. I don't know why. I just was, because it's like, to me, I like the stuff that I read in the Bible. It lined up with the same stuff that you learn, like reading, going to the little occult bookstore and reading up on things. It kind of lined up, and they like to ignore that and try to say like, Jesus performed these miracles that nobody else can do. And even though in the Bible it says greater, you'll do greater things, but people don't want to, accept that. And, they preach against that, stuff like that, in certain churches, or they'll call it like gifts of the Spirit. They try to rename it and whitewash it and all that stuff. But I was just drawn to it. And I don't know, my first, like like I said, I started with playing cards. You know what I'm saying? Because it was this lady. Her name was Miss Green. I think I told this story before. She was a tarot card reader that my grandmother used to go to, and she showed me a couple of things and taught me a couple of things about the meanings of the cards. And then I looked up a lot of stuff myself, and I started like that. And then when I got into the tarot cards, that was like recently. I'll say about like a year ago, when I was going through like another spiritual, like I was going on a spiritual sabbatical. I took like a year, and I was really diving into a whole bunch of things. I mean, it felt like I was going crazy, because every other day I was into a new religion. You know what I'm saying? I was a Hebrew Israelite, or this or that. I mean, I was just eating the stuff up. It was crazy. It was like I was just learning this, learning that. I was learning this, and then like I'll get full off of one thing, and then I'll be like, okay, you know, I don't know. It was crazy. It was like I'll grasp all this knowledge in one area, and then I'll like push it away, and then I'll grasp another knowledge in this area, and then I kind of push it away, and then I kind of like took them all and meshed them together and digested them, and kind of like created my own belief. And I think that's what everybody should do, because that's like, to me, that's what faith is built on. You know what I'm saying? What you believe. It's not necessarily what everybody else might believe, but what has your path led you to understand. And that's the place where I try to come from, because like, to me, everything else is bullshit. For real. It's like, it's what you believe, is what you have faith in, and don't let nobody else tell you different. And that's the approach I have on the whole, spirituality thing, God and the devil and all that. I feel like, the only God is in me, the only devil is in me. You know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff. There's a whole universe and society that's inside of me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just a small part of a whole colossal thing. But within me, there's a whole universe. It's like, it's crazy. So it's like, I really believe in going within, because that's where your strength comes from. And also, that's how I started. That's how I started. Like I was drawn to this. It just felt right. I enjoyed doing it. I'm able to do it. I don't feel like at first, and let me say this, and I'm gonna be totally honest. At first, I'm like, I know that I've had readings that have been very real, but at first, like, doing readings for other people that weren't my friends, like weren't people that I already knew and stuff like that, I was kind of nervous. But like I always said in my mind, is like, I'm not making up stuff. I'm just saying what the cards say. So it's like, and every single time I do it, I always get the same response. Spot on. Spot. And it's funny, they always say the same thing. Spot on. That's the word. And you know what I'm saying? These people who have never met each other, like all of them, I've met in different places, different times, and I've done readings for them. They always say the same thing: spot on, like those words. You know what I'm saying? So like that's kind of synchronicity, within itself, and it's I think it's a gift, but I think it's something that you can learn too. It's something that you can build upon and grow. It's just that I've always been a person who's been exercising my intuition. I've always been like one of those type of people. Um, that's always played a big deal in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like looking between the veil, seeing the inner working, like that inner knowing, like even when you don't know, and I always had experiences like that where people be like, how did you know that? You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know it, but I just kind of felt it, and that's how it started with me. Um, I hope that answered your question, but that's how it started. And her next question was how did I choose my deck and my crystals and my candles? Um, my deck, like I heard that people say that your first, like people should give you a deck, you should never buy them, But the playing cards that I use, they were given to me by somebody, but they weren't given to me as like playing cards to use for divination, but they were given to me, and that's what I use them for. So I can resonate with that a little bit. But my tarot deck, I bought those on my own. I was like I searched, you know, um, I searched on eBay and I looked at a couple of decks, and you know, I'm real into my culture, my black culture, my indigenous, my indigenous culture. I'm real into that. So I can say my deck spoke to me because it spoke to my heritage. So I use the African American tarot, and not that I won't use any other tarot decks in the future, but that's just the deck that I started with, and I don't really see any reason for me to have like 5 and 6 and 7 other decks, even though there is this one deck that I want, and it's not necessarily a tarot deck. It's the Alex Wise. He's an artist, Alex Gray. I forgot his name, Alex something, but he has like he does these paintings of like the chakra system, the like inner skeleton and stuff like that, and he has these cards that go along with it. He has I forgot the name of it's called the Sacred Church of something, but I'm gonna find that out. But I really want those cards that he has. I really want to get those cards, and I want to incorporate them into my tarot readings and stuff like that. Also, I mean, it just resonated. My deck just resonated with me when I saw the artwork, when I saw the picture. I think the main thing that stood out to me when I purchased my deck was the magician, and the magician in that deck, like it reminded me of me because he was next to a tree. He had his crystals and his candles and stuff like that. And like that's how I work. I use nature. I like crystals. I like trees. I like candles. So that's what really spoke to me from my deck to make me say like, okay, I want that deck, because when I saw that magician card, and also he was standing there naked, and that's always been, I don't know, something like God has put on me, like not to be naked, but not like physically naked, like to be open. You understand? So that's what that's about. Um, how do I choose my crystals? Like crystals, that's easy. It's like they just have to resonate with you. If you go to the store, you pick them up, they resonate with you, take them home. Like that, those are your babies. They want to be with you. Pick them up. That's it. Like some of them I bought online, just looking at the picture online, I felt something and I got it. That's the crystal that I wanted. What's your routine before doing a reading? Now, I don't have like a routine before I do readings, but what I try to do, like when I was, especially when I was in my own place, I tried to stay like make sure I stayed up on my spiritual baths, and it's nothing like extreme or anything like that. Mostly use like Epsom salt. If I had a lime, I'll cut the lime in 5 pieces, or cut the orange in 5 pieces. Put that in the water, toss in a little cinnamon, and light a candle, and that's my spiritual bath. And after I, soak in, I get out, I feel refreshed, I feel clean. It's like sometimes when you do readings and when you do spiritual work and stuff like that, you feel those little icky little things that I don't know if they're attracted to that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know, but you feel it. It's like a heaviness, or it's like a something, you know what I'm saying? And those baths really help to clear that energy away, because I feel like when you use your power, there's things in there that want to stop you and block you from accessing that stuff, and I don't know if they want to stop you or block you, but they do block you. I think they're attracted to that. You know what I'm saying? Like they siphon off of it a little bit or something. It's just, you feel it. It's like that, that's the only thing I can say is like icky. It's like, let me try to explain it. It's like a spiritual stickiness. Like, like when you haven't taken a bath in like 3 or 4 or 5 days or something like that, and you feel that film over you. It's the same thing, but spiritually, and you feel it. And like spiritual baths are very good for that. I light a lot of incense. You know what I'm saying? That's part of my practice. I light a lot of incense. I light candles, and I pray. It's the smell, it's the scents, it's things that get me into the mood of doing a reading. So I know that it's time to be in that space. And then once you start doing readings, I promise you, like when I shuffle my cards, I go into that meditative space where my mind says, okay, now it's time to do readings. Now we need to get in that space. And if there's any blockages, I feel them at that point. Like, and then I feel like my if you want to call them angels or loas, or your protectors, or whatever you want to call them spiritually, that's when they step in and they clear the way for me. And then I'm able to feel, like, for me, it's very empathic. It's not I could be psychic sometimes, but my psychic abilities come more like in dreams and stuff like that. But every day, empathic. So I tune in with people's energies, and sometimes it's stuff that, like, I don't want to feel. It might be somebody that I really like their personality, and I really like the way they present themselves to me and stuff like that. But then spiritually I can't get with them. I really can't. Like this one dude at the shelter here that I'm staying at. He's like one of the first people that's been cool to me and stuff like that. And I don't want to be like standoffish with him, because like that's kind of mean and rude. But at the same time, he's being nice, but my spirit is showing me something else. So it's like, I gotta trust that, despite how people feel. you know. So it's like that. That's basically it. That's what I do before my readings. I try to stay up on my spiritual baths. I try to get to that meditative space where I'm open to receive messages, and I'm clear, because like sometimes when there's a lot of stuff going in your life, you don't want that to go into your reading, especially if you're reading for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to put your stuff on them. And you can do that sometimes, because it's like, it's a symbiotic type thing. Like, I know when I'm doing readings for some people, I notice like the stuff that comes up for them is the same stuff that comes up for me, or it's like it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? But I try to keep it away from being like that. I wanted to be more for them, but sometimes it's like that, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it comes with the territory. Um, Sometimes when you're telling people stuff, the same stuff is resonating with you too. You know what I'm saying? And that's sometimes it's a good thing, though. Sometimes that's how you know it's real, because you're not just ministering to them. you're ministering to yourself also. So I can't say that's a bad experience, but I feel more comfortable when it's just about them. I don't want it like, oh, let me get mine later. Let me give them theirs right now. But I hope that helped you out, Clary. Um, it's an intuitive path. You know, don't think when you sit down and tell, like, don't doubt yourself. You know, when you sit down and you read the cards, you just read the cards. You know, it's not, you don't really have to come from nowhere else. You can just say what the cards mean, and there, trust me, they put them there for a reason. Then sometimes it's like, I notice when I give readings for certain people, it's like their ancestors or their protectors and stuff. They, especially if they're not a spiritual person. I find especially when they're not spiritual people. These like, whatever you want to call them, they want to communicate with them. You know what I'm saying? And they will use you to communicate with them. You know what I'm saying? God uses people. You know, and trust me, you will get that communication. You'll get that feeling. It's like sometimes when I do readings for people, it's like I want to cry because I'm in touch with what they're feeling. I'm in touch with what they're going through, and it's like it gets on you, you know, and it's strong. You know, it's like I'm a real sensitive person anyway. I'm the type of person that I don't like when I tell somebody how I feel and they tell me I'm overreacting, because that's not it. This is what I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? And I really hate that, because like a lot of times I'll end up being right. You know, but sometimes you can't tell people that. You know, it's like that's another thing you got to learn too. You got to learn, like, if you're gonna be a reader, that, like, it's not sugarcoating, but at some people are only ready for certain amount of things, certain amount of information, and you never want to scare anybody. You know, it's like sometimes you do readings and you see these things coming up, and it's like, you know, that God is gonna prepare them through this or take them through it or whatever. You know, you might like, not that I won't say it, like I'll just say it in a way that doesn't scare them, or doesn't, you know, doesn't really make them feel bad in a way, or not to say make them feel bad, but you don't want to. That's not the purpose of it, because we all have our things that we go through. Look at me, I'm going through a lot of stuff right now, and you know, sometimes, you know, like your enemies or people who don't believe like you believe, and even like some of these people are my friends that don't believe in the stuff that I believe in, and they see me going through the stuff that I'm going through now. Oh, you should leave that old witchcraft stuff alone. You should leave, you know, everything's witchcrafted, and so you should leave that alone. That's probably what's causing you to be that way, you know. Or you talk to, you know, I talk to my grandmother or something like that, and she'll be like, well, maybe because you ain't, you know, you ain't a preacher no more, you're not following the path God wants you to. That's why bad stuff is happening to you. You know, bad stuff happens to you regardless. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's how you get through it. It's just it's just interesting. You know, people have their own little opinions and stuff they want to throw in the mix, but you have to have faith in yourself. You have to have faith. You know, that inner strength. You know, it's like that song, something inside that's so strong. You know what I'm saying? And it might get weak. It might look like it's just a dim little light, but just long as there is still light there, and it'll build back up. You know. This video is becoming real long, but yeah, I hope that helps you, Clary, and anybody out there that's in my soul group, any of my subscribers. You know, that's that's how I feel. You know, that's what I go on. You know, I think I'm gonna do more videos like this, because I notice, like, you know, I always do all this talking before my readings, and I know a lot of people just tune in. They just want the reading. You know, they don't want all the conversation. And I mean, that's cool with me. You know, I don't mind that. You know, like, that's what they come for. You know, that's okay with me. So maybe I'll start doing like videos like this where I get to vent and talk about what's going on with me, and then then I'll do my you know, like my other my readings, and I'll try to not go into my life as much. That's feeling good. So I might try to do that. But thank you guys for visiting the Giving Tree. This might be a two-part video. Thanks for the questions, Clary. Thanks for like keep giving me ideas for videos and stuff like that. Basically, I appreciate it. Peace.